All right, a few important matters before we begin. I always have to make sure you understand what your rights are. Your first right is to remain silent, which means technically when I call your name, though you have to come to that microphone and your hands must be visible, you don't have to make a statement. You can remain silent. If you remain silent and we have not entered a plea, I will maintain not guilty for you, which will move this to the next phase, which is likely a pretrial. But you also have a right to a trial. That's important because maybe you had a discussion with the prosecutor or the defense attorney about your case. But until you resolve your case, you still have a right to a trial. The trials are before me, which are called bench trials, unless you make a request in writing for a jury trial. Before either one of those, we will make sure that you know the evidence against you. At the trial, you can cross-examine any witness that the city calls, and you can have your own witnesses appear. And if your witnesses won't come based on you making that request, we will subpoena your witnesses for you. And then you also have a right to an attorney, which is why there's a delay. I believe everyone has had a chance to speak with Mr. Humphrey. If not, we'll give you a chance to speak with him. Or you can hire your own attorney. The pleas that you can enter. If you are looking to resolve your case, there are 4 types of pleas you can enter. The first one is not guilty. Not guilty resets it for another hearing, but again, we resolve what we're dealing with today. You can also enter a plea of guilty where you are admitting what you're accused of. And if you do that, I could sentence you today. A sentence in a municipal court ranges from $0 to $1,000, 0 days in jail, up to 6 months in jail. That's the jurisdiction of this court. Anything above that is a felony, and I would address it if it was appropriate to the case. There's also a plea of no contest. That's similar to a guilty plea in that we can get your case resolved. The difference between guilty and no contest is guilty, you're saying with your own words that you're guilty. No contest, you're just not contesting the allegations against you. That means if I find you guilty, the plea can never be used against you in a later proceeding. And then lastly, there's a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. If you choose that particular plea, we'd have to stop the proceedings to see where you are and your ability to go forward. But keep in mind that plea is not available for traffic because the presumption is that if you're driving, you have the mental capacity to do so. Speaking of your traffic cases, if you get points based on what occurs here, the BMV will be notified of your points. It's important to know that if you get 12 points in your license will be suspended by the BMV. So it's important to know where your points are. Also, you must have insurance to drive. So if your ticket is marked no for insurance, when the BMV gets a copy of it, you're going to get a suspension. But what I normally do is give you 72 hours to come back and show our clerk's office your insurance. We do that as a courtesy to you. I'll update the file. That way you don't get suspended. I'll also give you 72 hours to take care of your fines and costs. And what that means is if you cannot handle your business today, within 72 hours, you can come back up and request a payment plan. The reason I give you 72 hours is because I do require some type of down payment, which is normally $25, and then I will extend the balance out. Last thing I'll mention, keeping in mind that insurance information because it's important. Last thing I want to mention is driving under suspension has gotten very expensive in this county. The fines average between $500 to $1,000, 2 points on your license gets suspended again, bless you. And some judges used to give jail time for driving under suspension. What I do in this particular court is we try to put you in a position where you have better license. We start at the $500 fine. We go backwards, giving you discounts based on the fact that you work to get your license. Don't give you any points. I don't suspend your license and I don't put you in jail. So the key is try to get licensed so that you're not driving without valid license. And if you cannot get licensed, try to get privileges. All right. If there are any other questions, the defense attorney and prosecutor are still available. Trina Johnson. Good morning, Ms. Johnson. So let me see where we are with your cases. It looks like. All right, Ms. Johnson, it looks like your cases are all driving under suspension and a couple other charges, but they're being resolved where they're being reduced to a no-point violation of no driver's license. That way you can still work toward getting your license together. And you spoke with the prosecutor, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so in 8, let me start with 20. 20 TRD 03235 to the charge of no driver's license. How do you plead? In 19 TRD 03961 to no driver's license. How do you plead? And the last one, 18 TRD 001575 to no driver's license. How do you plead? All right, so Ms. Johnson, normally what happens is those are $250 fines each, but I'm going to handle this a different way because you're getting all these cases resolved. And the way it's being resolved, their court costs on these cases. So what I'm gonna do, Ms. Johnson, you're in a very unique position because of the 3 cases. It'll be $80 on each one of those plus cost. All right. So you just go to the clerk's office and they'll give you the details on how to handle it. All right.
Listen, so they cut my SSI off because I did time here.
Okay.
I have the money right now, and that's why I'm here walking this eviction and holding it up.
So are you?
That man took my car, however, came behind me because I didn't have a sticker. So I feel like I'm losing all the way.
Well, do you have license right now?
No,
Because you know you're not supposed to drive. Yeah, you can't drive a car without license because this is what's going to keep happening. And they may try to forfeit your car at some point, not necessarily this city, but any city.
I don't even have a car right now.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So if you could put me on a payment,
We will definitely do that.
I'm just trying to leave these clean alone. This eviction stuff taken care of. You ain't see me down.
Absolutely.
This is a lose situation.
But
I ain't got a car and all these tickets and all this.
But Ms. Johnson, what I'm going to do is my bailiffs, know we're familiar with you, so we'll do what we can to help you out. So at least the cases are resolved.
Yes,
now the next step is figuring out how we work with you.
I will pay on it, but I just can't pay right now.
We'll work with you. All right, you just go to the clerk's office.
Now wait up.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm here about this eviction.
Well, this is not eviction court.
I know, but I was supposed to have court with you guys on Monday, right?
No, eviction court's not on Monday. It's on Tuesday. But what I'll tell you, though, the gentleman right behind you, he's in the eviction court. He handles that. He can assist you after court or once you leave out.
Right now, because this lady said I cannot come back on TV.
But you understand, I don't have that case before me. There's physically, I only can handle cases that are before me.
Oh man.
All right. But he'll talk to you when he gets a chance. He'll pull your file. Marco Young. Wow. Okay. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear the pre-planning of arson. All right, sir. How are you? All right. We have 16 TRD 0036 is driving under suspension, traffic light, and seatbelt, and then 16 CRB 0057 is possession of marijuana. The possession of marijuana is being dismissed in its entirety. And then we have the driving under suspension that's being amended to failing to display your license, which carries no points, and the seatbelt charge, and we're going to dismiss the moving violation. So the total transaction has no points and then a lower fine. Is that how you want to handle it today? How do you plead to failing to display your license? All right. And to the seatbelt? All right. The failing to display your license, it reduces from the $500 fine to $250. So I cut it in half. The seatbelt is $30. There's only one set of court costs, so you don't have to worry about multiple court costs. And if you need time to pay, they'll give you that detail at the clerk's office. All right. You just go to the clerk's office. Take care, sir. London Patton. 20 TRD 02910, driving under suspension and rear illumination. That's being amended to no driver's license that carries no points. Did you want to handle it that way, sir? All right. And we're going to dismiss the other charge dealing with the lights. How do you plead to no driver's license? All right. And as I mentioned, what happens is it's normally a $500 fine when there's no license, but I cut it in half to $250. There's only one set of court costs. And the other charge is dismissed. So you're able to go to the clerk's office. All right. Take care. Brianna Nickerson. Ms. Nickerson, 20 TRD 03131. This is driving under suspension from September 16, 2020. And it looks like you're in a position where your license are better, and it's been amended to no driver's license, which carries no points. And the other charge is being dismissed. Is that how you want to handle it today?
Yeah.
How do you plead to the no driver's license? I'll accept the plea with a fine of guilt as opposed to a $500 fine. It is $250 plus cost, and we can give you time to pay, and that other charge is dismissed. All right. Any questions, man? Take care. Is it Ebony Haslam? Come on up. 21 TRD 00612 is driving under suspension and sunscreen, and that has been amended to failing to display your license with the sunscreen being dismissed. Thank you, ma'am. Is that how you want to resolve the case today? All right. How do you plead to the charge? All right. I'll accept the plea with a fine of guilt. As opposed to $500, it's $250 plus costs, and if you need time to pay, we will work with you, okay? All right. You take care. Stephen Smith, 11 TRD 06592, driving under suspension, impeding the flow of traffic and seatbelt, and it's being amended to 1 seatbelt charge and failing to display your license. Is that how you want to resolve the case, sir?
Yes.
All right. And how do you plead?
No contest.
All right. I'll accept the plea with the finding of guilt. It's a $250 fine plus cost. The seatbelt is $30. There's only 1 set of court costs. Everything else is dismissed, and if you need time to pay, we'll work with you, okay? Take care. You're welcome. John Largent, 20 TRD 03426, driving under suspension and a speeding charge that is being amended to failing to display to keep you from getting the points and a lower fine. And it looks like the speeding is going to be dismissed and you've shown insurance. All right. How do you plead to that amended charge, sir? All right. I'll accept the plea with a fine of guilt, $250 plus cost. Everything else is dismissed. You just go to the clerk's office. Take care. Nathaniel Abston. Morning, sir. Good. 20 TRD 03403 is driving under suspension and assured clear distance. You've shown insurance and it's being amended to no driver's license. Is that how you want to handle the case? All right. How do you plead? All right. I'll accept the plea as opposed to 500, cut it in half. No points for you at all. And the other charge is dismissed. You just go to the clerk's office. Take care, sir. Charles Mackey. Mr. Mackey, the case I have here is 10 and 08. 10 TRD 00949 is a driving under suspension, obstructed plate and seatbelt. And it looks like you are going to plead to the failing to display, which is amended charge, taking it lower, and the seatbelt. Is that your understanding? All right. How do you plead? All right. Accept the plea as opposed to 500 to be 250 plus cost. The seatbelt is 30, and then everything else is thrown out on that ticket. Give me 1 second. And I believe in 08 TRD 04784, the city is dismissing that entire file. So you go to the clerk's office. Take care, sir. You're welcome. Brandy Brown, 20 TRD 0394694 is driving under suspension and improper passing. And then there's 17 TRD 02452 driving under suspension, seatbelt, and driving on the wrong area of the street. It looks like that 2017 case is being dismissed in its entirety, correct? Is that your understanding?
Yes.
And then you were going to plead on the 20 TRD 03694 to driving under suspension being amended down to failing to display, which carries no points. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How do you plead to that? All right, it's a $250 fine plus cost. And it also looks like the city agreed to amend your moving violation to unsafe vehicle, which carries no points also on that ticket. Are you resolving that one also with a no contest plea?
Yeah.
All right, so what happens with that, that's where, remember, they're alleging that you passed left of center. The city has amended it to a charge called unsafe vehicle so that you don't get any points. You understand that? I don't want you to be confused. Okay, what you mean regular time as in? Okay, all right, no problem at all. Give me 1 second. Let me dismiss this other case for you. So what happened was, it looks like what they're trying to say is that on October 29th of last year, when you were driving near Euclid and Holyoke, you went left of center. So instead, you went over the crossing lines, and that's when the police pulled you over and discovered that you didn't have license. So normally that carries, I'll tell you everything. Normally that carries a 2-point violation and a $200 fine. What the city did was amend it down so that you don't get any points. But the name of that charge is unsafe vehicle. So it doesn't look like a moving violation. And even with that, I'm gonna give you a lower fine because you've already resolved driving without a license.
Okay.
All right. So how do you plead to the new charge as opposed to going left of center, unsafe vehicle? All right. So with that being said, it's normally a $200 fine, but I'm gonna make it a $50 fine because you already resolved that other case. All right.
Okay.
So when you go to the clerk's office, they'll do the total calculation. And if you cannot pay it today, within 72 hours, come back up, make a down payment, and we'll give you a payment plan, okay? But if you can handle it today, you can. But if not, we'll put you on a payment plan.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jarrell Yarbrough. Mr. Yarbrough, these are two cases from 2021, 21 TRD 01123 and 21 TRD 00528, both alleging that your tent was too dark. Did you want to resolve your case today? Yeah, go ahead.
So I got the first,
Mhm.
and I had a for, said, I got, can you give me a duplicate ticket, the same thing with the plate?
Oh, well, technically with the tent. So here's how the tent goes. It's supposed to be, in Ohio, it's two things to keep in mind. One is if you have it on the sides and the back, it's supposed to be 50% of the light coming through. Anything less than 50% coming through, which is what most people's are, even my tent, they can give you a ticket. If it's 35%, all the way down to 0%. And then the other law to keep in mind is that you can't have it on the front. So they can give you that ticket every single day, all day long, because it's a constant violation of the law. So what I mean by that is, let's say you walk out of here today, at 11 o'clock, you get pulled over on Euclid. At 1 o'clock, you can get it at McDonald's. At 2 o'clock, you can get it, you know what I mean? Because it's just a constant moving violation. Now, that's not how I handle it when you get here, but yes, you can keep getting charged. So what I tell people all the time is you got to make the decision whether or not you want to remove your tent. And it depends on what city you are in the most. Like, for instance, if you're in Shaker, they may not give that ticket out, but every now and then. Right. East Cleveland gives it out a lot. Some cities don't, some cities do. So you have to make that decision like, okay, am I going to keep the tent or not? So that's where it is.
So I dropped it right to the county. I was just in, like, in the court, told me, because I bought the car fluid.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought it, had to sit on the back to get the windshield replaced.
Right.
Because the stipulations around the windshield, it just, the normal grass plates around here, they couldn't use the humidifier to take it off the front windshield. Yeah, so I came in here on the first ticket. I showed them, like, listen, I done paid for a whole new windshield.
Okay.
Because I couldn't.
So what's going on with your windshield? Because they put front windshield. Is it still tinted?
No. So this is what happened. I told them, I was headed to the decoration.
So what about your other tent? What's the percentage going around your car?
Ain't no around the car.
Yeah. What's the percentage? Is it less than 50%?
The front is 50, and the back is, I don't know. It's so dark in the back. I don't know.
See, that may be the problem there.
It just lifts the dark.
So here's.
Put me up on the way. I showed them the crib. I'm hidden. You know what I'm saying? I started driving the car.
Well, this is what I can do for you. This is how I handle the tent cases. Because again, I told you I can relate to that. You have two cases. The first thing, the city on her own, the prosecutor is dismissing one. So she's throwing out the whole ticket from January 31st. So she's just dismissing that. And then that leaves me with the ticket from February 24th, right? So if you want to resolve that case with a no contest plea, what I've normally been doing, the tents used to be $150 plus cost. What I do now is $25 plus cost because I just try to give you a break on the tent. But if you want to handle that second case, the first one is being dismissed. But it's up to you if you want to resolve that second case.
car was towed.
Okay.
Because he thought I was being belligerent with him, and I wasn't disrespecting him.
Okay.
He thought we got the car, and I'm like, man, look, 6'6", 280. I said, I understand what you're saying, but like by the sequel and everything, I understand like you want to reach for it. I had a license and insurance. I'm
Okay.
I tried to tell him that. He's one of them, I guess one of the officers. He said, "You're not get out the car." I said, "Hold on, that's not what I'm saying." I got out the car. I said, "I'm gonna get out the car," but the other officer pulled up. They towed my car. My keys was on the ground.
So let me ask you this. So let me cut you, not to disrespect, you know. So so basically what they damaged your car.
Yeah.
And did you get it out of the impound?
Yeah.
You pay how much you have to pay to get out of the impound? $250?
Yeah.
All right. So basically what you're doing, how old are you? 31. So basically what you're doing to cut to the chase, you're basically saying, Judge, can you look out for me even more because of all the stuff you dealt with? Is that what you're saying? Because you understand the toll, the police, that's not court. So just to be clear, like our court didn't do it, my bailiffs, it's all police, right? You understand that? But you're saying, Judge, based on all these other things, can you look out for me? Is that what you're saying? No, I mean, I want to know in your exact words, is that what you're saying? Well, hold on. So is that what you're saying exactly? You are. Okay, then I'll give you that. I will go ahead on your, hold on, listen to this. Is it no contest on the 10th, right? No contest? Okay, based on what you said, I'm going to do that. No contest, I'll find you not guilty. So I'm going to give you that this time. But take care of your business next time so that you don't even have to be here. All right. So there you go. So you won't be back. So you won't be back in front of me on 10th. She threw out one, I threw out the other one. So you're free to go. Take care. All right, Alan Woods. 21 CRB 00238. Mr. Woods, disorderly conduct and obstruction of official business from March 5th. And it looks like we have already entered a plea of not guilty, and you at this point are requesting a trial, correct? All right. So we're going to set that for April 15th at 1:30 p.m. I'll see you back on that day. You too. Take care. Buford Gibson. Mr. Gibson, 21 CRB 00293 is a charge of assault. Looks like we've already entered a plea of not guilty on that particular charge on a previous court date. And today you are requesting a trial, correct?
Yeah. Can I change it to no contest? That way they can't dock me.
So keep in mind with a no contest plea, because of what they're saying.
You would say I was guilty.
Well, yeah, because it's and you face the possibility of a $1,000 fine and 6 months in jail.
Well, I wouldn't think you would do anything like that. But I'm not going to change it. But you asked me that. I said he's a human being. Yeah, I want you to look out.
But you know, though, tent charges are totally different than assault charges.
That's okay. If you ask that to me,
all right.
But be sure I'm not going to be hesitant.
So we're gonna set this for the trial, right?
All right.
Okay, April 15th at 1:30 will be our next day.
All right.
Take care.
Okay.
Right. How are you, Miss Black?
I'm fine, Judge. How about yourself?
Excellent.
Good, good.
All right, 21 CRA 00